Welcome back to the Sage Audio channel. Today we'll look at 10 things you need to know about the FabFilter Pro Q3. We'll cover some of its rarely discussed features, as well as discuss how they're useful. Additionally, we'll listen to real-time examples of some of these features, so if you could, like, subscribe to the channel, and stick around for the full video. But first, if you're an artist, engineer, or producer, and you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample of it. All you have to do is set up an account, upload the song, and we do the rest. The FabFilter Pro Q3 is a popular, yet rarely fully understood plugin. Whether you're using it for mixing or mastering, there's bound to be some features that have probably slipped past you. That's why we wanted to highlight some of the obvious and not so obvious aspects of the Pro Q3. So starting off at number 1, we have the display is 4K and can be made full screen. Plugins can often be resized, but a full screen mode isn't common. By clicking the arrow icon in the bottom right of the plugin, you can alternate between 5 window sizes. But if you're looking to really focus in on what you're doing, you can make the plugin full screen by clicking the box icon in the top right. Now what's great is that since the plugin's resolution is 4K, it looks just as good in full screen as it does when it's minimized. Number 2, you can zoom in on specific frequencies. If maximizing the window to full screen wasn't enough, the Pro Q3 lets you zoom in on the frequency spectrum. To do this, hover your cursor over the text of a particular frequency in the main window. Once the text is highlighted white, click and use your mouse or trackpad to zoom in. Although this doesn't seem crucial at first, this can be really helpful if you're trying to create a very specific band shape or combine multiple bands. Like some of the things on this list, this feature is pretty easy to miss if you don't know about it beforehand. Number 3, up to 24 dynamic bands can be created. Many of us know that the Pro Q3 can make up to 24 bands, but it's surprising to hear that each one of these bands can be made dynamic. After you create a band, right-click it and select Make Dynamic. The band is now dynamic based on an automatic threshold. You can fine-tune this threshold in the band's window below, but if you're in doubt, the automatic setting works pretty well. This dynamic equalization can be used both for compression and expansion. To alternate between these two, grab the more translucent bands with the arrows and move them either up to expand or down to compress. Let's take a listen to these dynamic bands. Number 4, EQ matching allows for an inverse EQ technique. Another great feature of the Pro Q3 is EQ matching, which allows for one of my favorite EQ techniques. It's called an inverse EQ technique, and it's used to separate the frequency spectrums of 2 similar instruments or groups. Place the Pro Q3 on one of the 2 tracks that you want to affect, then use the sidechain to include the other track or instrument bus. Next, in the Analyzer section at the bottom of the plugin, click on EQ Match, then change the reference to your external sidechain. Play the track and let the EQ mirror the 2 frequencies. After some time has passed, click Match, then use all 24 bands available and select Finish. After deleting some of the more extreme bands, highlight all bands at once. Using the gain rotary, slowly invert the gain of all the bands. Now use your discretion and avoid making this effect too extreme. By matching the 2 tracks and then inverting the bands that make them match, we make them even more distinct from one another. Let's take a listen to this technique. Number 5, bands can be snapped to notes using a piano roll. The piano icon in the bottom left of the plugin is easy to miss. It's small, somewhat grayed out, and in a part of the plugin that you wouldn't think to look. By clicking on it, a piano roll comes up at the bottom of the main window. You'll notice that any bands that have been created show up on this roll as a colored dot. Drag these dots to snap the frequency of the band to that of a note in the scale. This is incredibly useful if you want to accent the key of an instrument's performance or attenuate any dissonant frequencies. Number 6, there are 9 available filter types and a gain Q setting. The Pro Q3 offers an impressive 9 filter types, including bell, low shelf, high pass, high shelf, low pass, notch, band pass, tilt shelf, and flat tilt. With the exception of the flat tilt, each of these filter types can have their slope altered from 6 dB per octave to 96 dB per octave. Furthermore, the bell filter can be combined with a gain Q setting, which mimics the effect of increased gain on the Q of a band, similar to analog consoles. Let's take a listen to these different filter types. Number 7, 7 different latency types make it great for mastering. A lot of plugins offer linear phase options, but few offer as many as the Pro Q3. With 7 different latency types, you can craft the timbre of your track to better suit what you're trying to accomplish. If you're trying to perform basic equalization or use the plugin in a live setting, zero latency is great. If you want to more closely emulate the phase relationships of an analog console, try the natural phase option. Or, if you'd prefer to have a super clean sound without the introduction of phase cancellation, try the 5 linear phase modes. Keep in mind that these are going to increase your latency, but they're great if you're trying to master and you want as transparent of a sound as possible. Let's take a listen to it. Number 8, frequency collision indication is available. Sometimes it's difficult to hear when frequencies are clashing. Fortunately, the Pro Q3 lets you visualize these issues using the frequency collision option. When other tracks are present, you can use the sidechain feature, which allows the plugin to measure their spectrums. Then, under the Analyzer section, you can enable the collision function. Any frequencies that are conflicting with one another will be highlighted as a red bar that varies in intensity. Keep in mind that this doesn't necessarily mean that you need to attenuate these areas in one track or another. Number 9, each band can be isolated. If you're looking to hear just one band, the Isolate feature lets you do just that. By clicking on the headphones icon, you essentially solo all frequencies that are affected by that band. Now, if you're not seeing this option, click the Help button on the top of the plugin and select Show EQ Parameter Display. This causes the needed window to appear. Let's take a listen to this function.
I've been looking out for myself now.
Last up at number 10, we have mid-side, stereo, and left-right placements are offered. Although it's an equalizer first and foremost, the Pro Q3 makes for a fantastic stereo imager. By allowing you to separate the signal into mid, side, left, and right channels, you can widen or narrow your stereo image. For example, you can use a high shelf filter on the sideband to increase the stereo width of the high frequencies, or maybe a high pass band on the side image to make your low frequencies mono. Furthermore, you can affect the overall stereo image by switching the output to mid-side and then decreasing the gain of the mid image. Whatever the case may be, the channel image options make the Pro Q3 suitable for advanced stereo imaging. Let's take a listen to these features in use.
Maybe I'm lost, wandering alone in the moonlight. Yeah. I've been looking out for myself. When you told me it's over, yeah. I thought you meant stay. When you told me it's over, yeah. I never thought you'd leave me dry, out in the night.
So these are our thoughts on the FabFilter Pro Q3, but what do you think? Is there a hidden feature that the plugin has that we didn't mention here? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, if you're an artist or an engineer, send us one of your mixes at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample. All you have to do is set up an account, upload the song, and we do the rest. But thank you so much for watching. We really hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like and share this video with your friends. This way we know if you'd like to see more videos like this one. Also, you can subscribe to the channel. We release 3 to 4 videos every week, and subscribing is the best way to stay up to date. There's a comment section where you can leave your thoughts on this video, or you can make a suggestion for a future video. And again, if you're an artist or an engineer and you have a mix that you need mastered, send it to us at sageaudio.com. We'll master it for you and send you a free mastered sample. Thank you so much for watching. We'll see you in the next video.